Hey, today in the lab, we're going to explore some to pull it out, and you just might live a little bit longer. Today, the only morning show that helps you get your ass out of bed and discover the hobby that might make you live a little bit longer. This morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. And hey, Flynn's here. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Know the muscle improve, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, Sean.
If the lady's saying that, you're just
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That
There we go. There we go. We got the button correct. Hey, Flynn's here. We're all excited today in the lab. Hobbies that make us a little bit longer. Yes, a reminder, guys. This is an explicit show. You got to get those headphones on, especially if we got kids in the room. You got kids in the car. See Marty Fit, John Anderson. Christina Flynn, producer Flynn's here as well. Producer Jimmy's over there. Producer Walsh is over there. We got a whole team behind us. Eric Dugati is joining us this morning in center stage. Hey, Dugati was here for Live in the Lab months ago. We're going to catch up with Eric coming up here in the lab. We're going to get into topics around hobbies. Yeah, we believe hobbies make us live longer. So if you're sitting back there going, I got a lot of time on my hands, today's the show you want to hang out and tune into to learn about the hobby that you could discover to make your life happen a little bit longer. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it going. Let's keep the show going. Bring everybody up on stage. We're going to flip the cameras over here. Who do we got? We got Johnny in the baseball jersey, black and white, red hat. We got Marty in the Flynn. What color's his shirt today? Uncle Keith can't see it properly.
Pink.
There's Pink. And of course, we got the ever present Christina Flynn joining us here in the lab. Good to have Flynn here this morning. I'm excited to have you here, boys. It's nice to have a vulva on the show when it was only a show full of penises. So it's nice to have you hanging out with us.
How are you going to take my joke like that? I set you up with that. How are you going to steal my joke?
Keith.
That's
crazy.
wild.
That's
That's wild. You're Steve Harvey up in here. You're just stealing my jokes.
That's it.
Wow.
Full credit on the air. That was a Flynn joke. We had a little meeting before the show here, and she dropped an awesome joke. I was like, holy fuck. And Flynn, I wasn't even planning on stealing it. It just kind of just came out.
there's rarely new shit in entertainment. It's just recycled.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Although I'd like to see you quote who would say there needs to be more vulva on this show. There's too many penises. If you can find whoever
I've always said I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. So there's no proof, but I think I got one.
there's no proof.
So Flynn, how have you been? You've been busy with life, taking care of the crew, and glad to have you here on the show. We're renewing our vows and commitment with Christina Flynn here this morning on the show. How have you been, friend? How have you been?
Oh man, I've had a lot more time to focus on me, and it's kind of timely. Yeah, a teeny bit more time. I've always been better when I have more on the go. And so this week has been like a sit down and say, great, don't just do without actually planning. Be strategic about this. You have more hours available to you, and do what you are about to do. I think of it and I liken it to when I quit college or university ball in my second year. I was really sick. I was battling an eating disorder, and I couldn't keep my grades up at all. And I quit, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So going into my third year, and they won the championship that year, which Marty, you know that. Like if you talk to any athlete, you quit, and the year you quit, they win the ship. You're like, oh my God. But you know what? I didn't have that feeling. I had a lot of people around me, a couple other girls that I quit that were feeling that way. And I didn't have that feeling. And when I reflected on it, it's because I told myself when I quit, I would do certain things and then I did them. And so when I look back, I was like, well, I can't hate on that. I had the opportunity to do all these things that I committed to myself. So I'm doing the same thing now. Reflect a little bit, say, where do I want to fucking invest my time? And how do I want to do that? And then what time do I want to spend with these douchebags?
Yes. Always love being called douchebag before 8 o'clock in the morning. That's
Right?
just,
You're welcome. Y'all have missed me, haven't you?
yes, 100%. Christopher Martin, how are you today, my friend? We're heading into the back half of this week's loop. What's going on, buddy? What's happening in your world today?
Man, if I'm here, I'm great, man. You know. But honestly, nothing exciting, man. Just working.
I love that.
Honestly, man, I think this weekend got a couple ugly Christmas sweater parties to go to, and that's it, man. It's just regular over here right now.
You're gonna
What's your go-to sweater?
What'd you say?
What's your go-to sweater?
I don't know. I gotta find one. But I will send y'all a picture. I might wear it on the show.
Oh yes. That would be ideal. That'd be absolutely ideal. Hey Marty, so you've been having some fun content that you've been posting up on the old gram.
I'm enjoying it, man.
I know you have.
Go ahead.
Do tell our lovely colleagues here about the fun content that they may have not witnessed it, how that has been going over with See Marty Fit Nation.
Well, my followers love it, but I'm like Johnny. If you're talking smack you on the right track, this is the epitome of it right here.
Yes,
I mean, I'm getting called everything in the book, you know. So
what are you talking about? Why is it so different?
Well, one was like they had,
so
I post fitness stuff, so they had these girls. They were walking down the steps. They were all bigger girls, and I was just saying, if this young, they shouldn't be this big. We need to do something. We need to, have the parents, learn about nutrition, things like that. I didn't say it that nice. I said it with a couple of jokes, and they ripped me apart. So that was one, and then another one. The guy had a blindfold on, tasting fried chicken, and he could tell you what restaurant it was from with the blindfold on.
That's funny. A problem.
That was hilarious. So yeah, I just been having fun with it, man. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love when you put yourself out there, man. That's always enjoyable. That's what made me fall in love with you.
I do want to say this. Some of the stuff I go a little extreme, but I know I'm going to get a reaction. Yeah. Some of the stuff is not even my real beliefs. I just do it just to get the reaction sometimes, but it is what it is.
Okay.
That's entertainment, right, Marty? It's what part of entertainment.
It's part of entertainment, yeah.
Right, and it's our good our good friend Joe Fontana, right? It's the jokes, folks. It's the jokes. It's the right. Jokes. And if you get to know somebody well enough, you get to know the human. You gotta appreciate that. Okay, the guy's having a little bit of fun, as long as you're not maybe offending. It's and listen, I was out for dinner last night. Let's focus on pushing buttons, man. The world's gone too far to not push buttons. Let's keep pushing buttons.
I think so.
Well, Marty, when you find one of those bad boys, like I've got like actually I have a folder called viral videos.
Yeah.
And I got 3 of them that I can put, as long as they're 4 months apart, I can plop any one of those fuckers up there and they're going to go north of 1 million.
Well, you have to,
I might have to do that.
Every creator should have. The goal is to get to like 50 amazing posts that people really respond to, that are aligned with what you're trying to connect with people on, like that are really representative of you. And then it should be filtered, because you can't assume that your followers from then are now your followers 4 months or 5 months afterwards. Like that should be the goal of every creator. There's nothing wrong with repurposing.
Yeah, so true. Hey guys, let's talk about something today that I think is overlooked. And Flynn, we've always talked about keeping words alive. That words seem to be dying, and I'm wondering if the word hobby is a word that is dated in nostalgia, right? So today we're gonna talk about hobbies and how maybe they're a gateway to longevity. Like, think about it. Hobbies keep your mind sharp. They give your body a reason to move. We're always talking about movement creates momentum. They remind you of why life is worth living. I know my good friend Chuck Duick, who I've known for many, many years, as he's embarked on the next stage in his life. Johnny, he's painting, right?
Well, along with what you just described, brother, it stops all the negative chemistry and starts all the positive chemistry. So someone who lives in a world where he doesn't like what he does all the time, then when he goes to his hobby, he's like, shit, this is what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, he's feeling better. He's getting better chemistry from his brain. And that's the part that keeps it. You go into some of these cultures where, they're insulated from stress.
Yes.
These little bastards are living to be 275 years old.
Yes. So if you're turning over this morning, listening to our show here, the only morning show to help you get your ass out of bed, maybe you're reminded that a hobby, it was like it's like something it gives your soul, Flynn, a reason to keep worth living. And studies have shown, Marty, that people with hobbies live longer, as Johnny is talking about, right? It's just not about, health or reduced stress. It's about having something to look forward to. Oh, I got to finish my painting. I'm going to work my music.
Well, there's mental health in that thought process.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we think of a hobby, think of it. So it's like mentally, it gives you a break from if you're a person that's way stressed out.
Yes.
Do something that you enjoy and you're focused on that rather than the shit that stresses you out.
And it's funny, Johnny and Flynn and Marty, because I've often poo-pooed the idea of a hobby, because for me, hobby is making money. I just love it, like the thrill of it, right? It's so, and I don't see it as so. Yeah, it's Johnny, it's Marty. It's exactly what it is. Because that's like fishing. I love this idea of throwing a hook in the water and not knowing what's under the water, and then catching and then feeling something and then pulling it up and being that dopamine hit, right? Maybe that's actually why I got addiction problems now that I think about it. Fuck yeah, I've been fishing for a long time.
Don't blame your candy addiction on that.
I just realized, Flynn. Never mind.
This is a breakthrough moment, nation. We are having a moment. Keith has realized he's an impulsive person with ADHD tendencies.
Because of my fishing. It was, you throw the fish in.
Are you talking about literally fishing, like with a pole and like, or is this like some sort of a symbol?
Marty, did he just say pole?
Well, I mean, I suppose if I want to know if you're putting a line on the end of your shaft, I would have said shaft.
Marty, did he just say shaft?
Johnny, it's an inside joke. I don't even think you were here for that.
Yeah. But are you talking about literally fishing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Literally fishing, because this whole idea of throwing, not the rod, but throwing the bait in the water and then feeling that something's on it and then trying to get it out of the water. Like Johnny, like my dopamine just going through the roof. And now that I think about it, that is the impetus. Oh my fucking God, I just had it. That's the impetus for my entire addiction problems my entire life. Fishing. That's it. Flynn?
But there's a lot of delayed gratification in fishing too.
That's what I was gonna say, and that's what the problem is with a lot of us now.
Here's the thing: are you going
get that
to the
dopamine hit with a scroll?
Are you showing up to the trout farm, so to speak, where they're stocking that little fucking pond with thousands of fish? So as soon as that hook goes in, you're yanking one up on the shore. Are you going into a place where you got to put it in there and actually wait?
Anybody tuning in, Johnny, we're talking delayed gratification. We're talking shots. We're talking yanking the pole. We're actually talking about Fishing Nation this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Good morning, MC Lyrical. What's up? Yeah, that's Frank Ocean in the middle. It's actually Frank. Fuck, I love Frank Ocean. Marty, we haven't had a lot of Frank Ocean, have we? I'm a big fan.
Frank Ocean's talented.
He's totally talented. Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah. So I don't know. So Lyrical. Yes, Frank Ocean's talented. No, the guy in the middle is not Frank Ocean, because the guy Frank Ocean.
Not all black people look the same. Jeez, that's wild.
Is that?
Wow.
I think that's what he said. That's what he said without saying it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Hey, we got Eric Dugati. Eric Dugati's hanging out in the green room. We're going to keep the conversation going about hobbies today. It's going to be a fun, light show today with myself. We got the Flinner in the house. I always love the energy she brings. Dugati's coming up here in a minute. Marty's got the Marty Fit Tip at the bottom of the hour. Zeglin's going to jump in for Mind Fuel. I haven't told him what we're talking about today. No, we're going to talk hobbies. I know he's a whiskey guy. Maybe we'll talk whiskey and hobby habits for AJ Zeglin. And we're going to keep digging into my realization this morning that fishing has been the cause of all my troubles. Yeah, not the satellite dish, Flynn. It's fucking fishing. Yes, the idea of catching a fish, the dopamine hit, it's just spurred on this whole level of something's going on. All right, listen, it's the accountability check-in. Yes, there's the hook there, Jimmy. We got to cut the show later. Listen, 2025 won't be your year. Nope. I'm telling you right now, unless that the new year, I'm telling you, the new me crowd is warming up. But let's be real. Let's absolutely be real. That New Year's crowd's going to be done by February. Yeah. Why? Because goals that they're all just writing down and talking about, there aren't going to be enough. Those goals without actions, baby, we call them daydreams. Progress, what we talk about here in the lab, only comes from consistency. True story. Execution beats ambition every time. Here's how to actually win as you're talking about 2024. Stop setting those 12-month goals. Think 100 days at a time. Think 10 days at a time. Stop obsessing over those outcomes. Focus on what's happening along the way. Stop hoping you'll figure it out. No, I got the figured out calendar. I got the someday calendar. Yeah, right. Really? Yeah, someday it's going to happen. Yeah. The future is not handed to you guys. It's built decision by decision. So I invite you to think about this. MC Lyrical. Yeah. My resolution was to perform live in Chicago too, but I'm going to perform in SoFi Stadium instead. Listen, start building today. Start planning from a year from now today. Think like it's already next year and imagine working backwards from that. There you go. All right, guys. Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, brother. We're going to, I'm going to stop the button. I'm going to bring the music back up here. And we're going to bring up, there's Flynn drinking the coffee this morning. Mm-hmm. We got Eric Dugati coming here this morning. What's up, Mr. Dugati?
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I am spectacular. Bringing some applause in. So, Eric, last time we hung out solo, but now you have an entire circus surrounding you. I would like to introduce you to the circus. So over there is the official female on the show, Christina Flynn. And then the one over there, well, that's John Anderson. And then the guy over there, that's C. Marty Fit. Guys, girls, that is Eric Dugati. Eric and I hung out live in the lab a number of months ago, and I said, hey, why don't you come check in with us and see what's going on in your world? And he is now here. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? Thanks for having me back. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Jerseys. Tell us about those jerseys.
I got a couple up here, Christina. So the one over this shoulder is from a professional soccer player, became a dear friend of mine that I trained. The one next to that is from a bunch of kids that I volunteered and coached. A big baseball guy. They gave me that at the end of my run of coaching them. And then I have two, you can only see two jerseys from my time with the New York Giants when we won 2 Super Bowls, and that's signed by all the players I work with.
No big deal.
That's pretty cool. So let's just repeat that. You did what? You've won how many Super Bowls?
2. I didn't win any. I'm short, fat, slow, and I don't have any real football skill, but I help people keep people healthy enough that they can win Super Bowls.
That's awesome. So before we get into much about Eric Dugati and who you are, we get the big question we like to ask everybody. Flynn, we haven't seen you for a while here. Why don't you ask Mr. Dugati the big morning question we like to ask everybody here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends?
Mr. Dugati, here at Mornings in the Lab, we like to hear from every single one of our guests. What is your morning routine? And don't give us the surface level. We want to get deep. From the moment that alarm gets up, if you have an alarm, what's going on? What's the step-by-step process?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm very big on morning routines. If you've ever read like Tim Ferriss's book, like Tools of Titans, or the biggest common thread among successful people is that they have non-negotiable habits.
Yes.
So for me, it is I use a Morpheus training system for my cardiovascular and recovery. So I will do my Morpheus test to kind of see where I'm at as far as my HRV and resting heart rate, that kind of stuff. And then I do some type of cardio, usually some type of zone 2 type of work. And then I will follow that because I'm not really a coffee guy. So my caffeine is I will do 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing, followed by 100 push-ups while holding my breath. And then I go about my day.
You do 100 push-ups in a row?
Correct.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did.
Not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, that's gonna be my thing is until the day I die. So probably 350 days out of the year, John, I'm doing that.
So you do these back to back, 100 push-ups every day, back to back.
Yeah, and so I do it while holding my breath. So I do 3 rounds of a hyperventilation. If you're not familiar with Wim Hof breathing, it's a hyperventilation of
shit. Yeah.
So you do that 3 rounds with a breath hold afterwards. My last breath hold takes me about a minute. I'll crank out 100. Yeah.
Damn.
So you can get that was my next question. You're getting 100 in a minute. That's fucking hauling ass.
Yeah, I'm cranking.
Well, I suppose you're looking for some air, so you want to get there quick.
What's crazy is because of the doing the breathing first is that I'm able to get through it, and I don't really get
hypersaturated. Totally,
and I don't get sore afterwards. Whereas if I drop right now and try to do it in a rested state, I wouldn't get the same result.
Yeah.
So you don't feel the lactic acid buildup in the same way?
There's something to it there, but yeah, there's something to the messing with my autonomic nervous system that allows me to get there. So that's my morning routine.
He's ultra hyper saturated with oxygen too.
Yeah. So it's good. That's my morning coffee.
This is fascinating to me. So Eric, Johnny gets up and his movement is rebounder. He gets on the rebounder immediately. He gets his body moving. So the trampoline rebounder.
Love it.
So Eric, you get up and so when do you do your 100 push-ups? Like, is it like minutes out of bed? Is it a half an hour out of bed? This is intriguing to me. Is it do you crush some water, or do you get out of bed and get in the shower and get a piss and just start bopping those push-ups, or wait, get more the details of this, brother?
Okay, so the recovery test with the Morpheus takes 2.5 minutes, so I can get my resting heart rate, get my HRV and all that kind of stuff, and that kind of tells me where I'm trending with my recoveries, if I'm overtraining, if I'm undertraining.
Yeah.
Then from there, I'm jumping on. I'm doing some zone 2 cardio. I have a stationary bike, and I just put on some music, zone out for a half hour, just hanging out, and there. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I'll do the 3 rounds breathing, and then crank out the push-ups. As far as anything else, I have a green drink that I'll drink while I'm doing my cardio, and that's it. And then when I'm done with that, that's the other thing. Part of my routine is because I got to be out and in sessions, whether it's in person or virtually, early in the morning, I will just crank out 50 grams of whey protein in a shaker container, which takes all about 8 seconds.
So was that so your whole morning routine, Eric? But an hour? You see, you got your cardio, you got your push. No, probably not. What, 45 minutes, probably, eh?
Yeah, about 45 minutes. Yeah.
And that's a non-negotiable 7 days a week or 5 days a week for you?
Ideally 7. Sometimes I may have to move that around if I got to be in super early, so I'll just push that later in the day. But that's happening, like I said, probably 350 days out of the year.
You strike me as somebody that measures your performance. So how are you measuring when you wake up in the morning? You're wearing a Whoop band, you're wearing Oura Ring, your Apple Watch. Like, what are you measuring to recognize your HRV, your VO2 max? Those metrics that help Eric stay on track.
Yeah, I'm obnoxiously organized, Keith. So, I've experimented with all of them because I need to be an information resource to the clients that come to me that say, should I get an Oura Ring? Should I get this? And some people always say, no, I don't want you going anywhere near one. And I also need to know how they can interpret their data. My personal favorite is the Morpheus system, by Joel Jamieson. Joel is a genius, and it's very well done in terms of very accurate in terms of tracking HRV, resting heart rate, and then giving you a recovery score based on that. And then also what happens is it's very good for zone tracking in terms of my cardio. And telling me if I'm doing either low, moderate, or high intensity cardio, and it'll actually tally it through the week. So I know if I'm at Thursday, okay, well, I haven't gotten enough high intensity cardio today. I'm going to finish my workout with some, high intensity repeats, where if it's the other way around, I may need to do a little more zone 2 or something along those lines. So it keeps me measured. So I'm making sure I'm checking all the boxes on my checklist throughout the week.
Yeah. Marty, Johnny, questions for Eric?
Yeah, I think it's, I love when you said you're highly organized. My wife always jokes with me. She says, yeah, you're very organized, but you don't clean. You organize, you don't clean. My computer can be fucking filthy. Like, I can barely see the screen, and I'm turning up the brightness, and even my glasses can be kind of like messed up, and she comes and cleans, but everything is in place, because if everything has a spot, I know exactly where I'm going. There's no wasted time.
Love it. So you would have loved when I owned my own facility. I owned my training facility for 12 years. Like, all the dumbbells had to be in a certain place, turned a certain way. Everything had to go in a certain way.
Oh, brother, I had the same thing. I had a training facility too. It was like it was everything. It was like a warrior going to battle. You knew exactly where your tools were, because when you needed them, boom, it was there.
But it was an opportunity for teaching for me, John, because at the time I was working with a lot of young athletes, and I would teach them about the old Jocko line of discipline equals freedom. And I said, the discipline of you putting that back each time gives me the freedom that I have more time to spend with you, because I don't have to go looking for that next time. I don't have to worry where the 15-pound dumbbell is. I can literally close my eyes, walk over and grab it while I'm talking to you and teaching you something. Well, I don't get to do that if I got to go scramble and looking for it. And so not only that, if you don't put it back where you got it from, it's selfish on your part, because now somebody else has to go do that. So I'm going to teach you to be unselfish and understand it's about more than you. So it was a great teaching opportunity when I was working with young athletes to be a mentor.
Yeah, no, I love it. And what I tagged on the tail end of that is, if you don't put your shit away, you got a 3-minute plank to think about why you're doing that.
That's a good one.
I actually just threatened to throw him out. I had a Division I athlete that every time he leaves stuff out, I said, "You going to put that away, or is it tonight your last night?"
Oh, Marty, you're listening to Eric, talk about his organizational habits and so forth. And what are you taking from Eric as you're hearing him speak, Marty?
I mean, that's just, coming from the athletic world, being organized, disciplined, being consistent with everything. So I'm not surprised by that at all. But Eric, I want you to, if you don't mind, man, talk about your journey a little bit. You know, you briefly mentioned the Giants. What was the journey leading up to that, and how was the experience with the Giants?
So if we start way back in the beginning, Marty, it was me at my first job. I don't think you can really even consider a job, because I think you have to get technically paid to have a job. I got offered the opportunity to work at a gym, and the only way you could get clients was to just kind of, get people to work with you. And so they used to have this little corrugated box. This is 26 years ago, little corrugated box at the front desk that you could enter to win a free training session. You pop the little slip in there. So I'd get there at 5 a.m. every morning. I'd clean out the box, and then at 9:01, I called you and said, "Congratulations, you won a free session." And then hopefully enough of those converted into people actually wanted to pay me. And I was fighting with 18 other trainers within the same pond of clients to pull from. And so I quickly became one of the most booked trainers, and they hated me for taking all the slips. And I said, "Listen, you can meet me here at 5 and I'll split them with you." But nobody ever showed up. And so that's how I kind of built from there. And then just gradually grew. I started to get more and more athletes from there, started to get a little bit of reputation. And at the same time, I also got very big into fitness education and training and teaching other trainers and coaches. And so through that, I got introduced to someone who was in the personnel department at the Giants, and they had said, "Look, we're looking for somebody to kind of help us with our injuries and kind of figure out ways we can mitigate risk." At the time, the FMS was growing pretty popular within the NFL. I was a lead instructor. I've worked with FMS since the very beginning. So they said, "Hey, let's give it a shot." That ended up turning into a 9-year relationship of me working with the team as a consultant, doing testing on all the players, and then being in the weight room with them a couple days a week, implementing strategies to try to keep them healthy, and working side by side with the strength staff and the training staff.
That's awesome. That's awesome,
cool, man. Yeah.
Hey, you're hanging out with C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, Christina Flynn, and I'm the host, Keith Bilous, here with Eric Dugati here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed and not hit that snooze button. Hey, Eric, we got the C. Marty Fit tip coming up right now, and because Johnny has to go for a pee. That's generally what happens at the bottom of the show here. So, but listen, we had you in for these 13 minutes. Are you able to stick around for the next 13 with us?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right, let's do it. So Johnny didn't get up for a break. Flynn, I don't know what Flynn's going to do here, because, she just showed up for today's show. So who the hell knows what she's doing?
She's going to watch.
She's going to watch.
If the kid doesn't come in.
Is that
I was going to say, I'm going to push them off on my foot, being like, not now.
And Marty's got some fitness advice for you guys. It's going to get you guys moving. Get after it, Marty.
Let's get it, man. All right. Today's fitness tip, we got another heavy hitter. So when you on your fitness journey, you got to realize you haven't arrived. So this is for the person who's been on their grind. They've been consistent. They're getting some results. Now you're starting to feel yourself a little bit. I'm here to tell you now that I'm proud of you, but you have not arrived, okay? Now, your strong part might be the weight room. That's amazing. But what's your cardio like? What's your diet like? What's your mobility like? There's always something else that you can work on. So just because you're killing it at your strength, right? Some people are great at cardio and they're terrible in the weight room. You can always get better somewhere else, and that can keep you locked in on your fitness journey and have you excited to continue to get better. You're not going to reach your full potential by just being content. Think about it. We got Michael Jordan, you got Kobe Bryant, you got Tom Brady. Look at the greats. They never just got satisfied and said, "Hey, I arrived. I'm going to stop working on my game. I'm going to stop being competitive. I'm going to stop pushing my teammates to the next level. I'm not going to chase another ring." The same goes for business. You think Elon Musk is just content and not trying to get to the next level? You think Bezos is content and not trying to get to the next level? There's always somewhere to improve. And if you don't want to just look at the gym, you can take that to other areas of your life. If I'm killing it in the gym, I can be a better family man. I can be better in my business, all right? So don't get complacent, all right? Let's keep growing. Let's keep getting better. You only get one life. Let's get the most out of it. So remember, you have not arrived. There's always room for improvement, especially in the gym. That's the fitness tip for today.
There it is, the fitness tip of the day with C. Marty Fit. Yep, that's the guy.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hey, Marty, we're celebrating 200 on Monday, brother.
It's at 200 already?
Yeah, 200, 199 tomorrow, 200 on.
That flew by.
Fuck, I know. Just wait till we're at 1,000.
Yeah, we're getting there, man.
We're getting there. Hey, you're hanging out with Flynn, Fit, Anderson, Bilous, and our guest, Eric Dugati, the 2-time Super Bowl champion. Eric Dugati, I just wanted to say that so I get a soundbite. Eric, do you actually have 2 Super Bowl rings?
I have one. One, and I don't have the fancy one like the players got with all the diamonds, but I do have one. Yeah.
Oh, so do tell. Oh, I want to hear the story about this. So how do they do that? Like, okay, players, you guys get the big fancy one, and then all the support training staff get the knockoff. Or how does that work?
The entire organization gets one.
The entire organization.
When they won.
Yes, correct. But because I was technically considered a consultant, I don't get one.
Oh.
But what they told me is they said, since you took part of this, what happens is after the Super Bowl, Tiffany comes in during lunch, and you can get a bunch of extra trinkets and stuff like you can get for family and so forth. They said, if you want to get one, we'll let you get access to one. And so I was able to get one through Tiffany that way. So I have the actual ring. I just didn't go up for the one with all the diamonds.
Oh yeah, that's interesting to me. Hey Johnny, with some of your accomplishments, strongman bodybuilding and so forth. I know you've placed a couple of times. What kind of hardware have you achieved over your career?
It's funny. I I kind of took a different approach with that. I mean, part of it was the fact that most of when I was competing was in Europe, and these big fucking things, were really difficult to get home.
I was gonna say, you got to get them home.
Yeah, and so I only brought the few things home for my daughters wanted them. For the most part, I would just leave them in the hotel.
Yeah,
but I mean, when it came down to it, a trophy is really cool, and it's a good piece of memorabilia. But I think what I was always striving for was just that experience. It was that, if I could have known that I was going to do well and not get a piece of hardware, I'd have taken that trade every time.
Yeah. Yes. Is it good morning, Sarvina? I see
real quick. Flynn, were you with the Raptors when they got a ring?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Like, I experienced this because what Johnny's saying, when you're in pro sports, especially, that ring and the idea of the ring and the hardware instead of the experience keeps people at the organizations far longer than they need to be. And so when I was considering leaving after 7 years, people are like, you're insane. What are you doing? Like, you have one of the coolest jobs. Like, you're with the team. Like, you have the job that everyone who works in the organization wants. But it's not about the ring. Like, to me, it wasn't about the ring. I was looking at people around me being like, I want to be like that person who's been here 10 years longer than they need to be because they're waiting for the ring. And then they get the ring, and then what? Doesn't change anything.
We got Mike McQuillan joining us here saying the packaging for those rings is worth more than anything I've ever worn. I'm sure that the packaging is worth a certain percentage of that final cost along the way here. Listen, we're talking with Eric Dugati here, Morning in the Lab with Keith and friends. And Eric, we're leaning into the topic of hobbies might make us or help us live longer. Are you a man of hobbies, Eric, or is the gym your hobby? Is your lifestyle your hobby? Or, talk to me and the team here about your opinion on hobbies. And Eric, is the word hobby dated in 1975 that nobody has hobbies anymore?
People don't have enough hobbies. I can tell you that much. Well, I look at it two ways. So for me personally, like I said, I love baseball. So I coached both my kids for 10 plus years, and then the organization brought me back in. That's where that jersey's from, to coach kids that weren't my own for another 5 years. So I'm just junkie being on the field. And then when that was done, I found a buddy that got me hooked up with a men's 35 and older league, and I play hardball 9 months out of the year on every Sunday. So like, baseball's my hobby. So I love it, absolutely love it. But to tie in with Marty's fit tip is to make sure you don't miss anything. The biggest thing I'm big on, especially when I coach trainers and coaches and clinicians, is having checklists. And so, like, how do you not miss what your weak point is? You have a checklist. So I always use the analogy, like, who here does their food shopping in the house? Does anybody do the food shopping in the house of the group?
I don't.
You mean like ordering groceries?
Like getting your groceries, yeah.
Don't you do that, John? Don't you order your groceries?
Terry does all that.
Oh, okay.
All right. So in my house, I guess I'm the solo here. in my house, I do the grocery shop.
Marty just like, oh yeah, looking around like, oh yeah.
All of us real silent.
Yeah, I got silent.
I've already here. You live by yourself, brother. There's only one. There's only all the buck stops with you, bro.
Yeah, I do it, Eric. I do it. I'm the only one.
So in my house, I do it because when you're from New Jersey and your last name ends in a vowel, you're very good. You're very big into food and cooking. And so because I'm a cook, I'm gonna go and get all the ingredients. And so the problem is if my wife goes food shopping and then I have to cook, it's like the worst episode of Guys Grocery Games you can imagine. Like there's a bunch of shit that doesn't go together, and I have to figure out how to use it. So, and it's like when you go food shopping and you don't have a list, that's when you come home with like those 2 bags of kale that you're going to throw out in a week because you had no plan, right? But if I look at my checklist for the week and say I have to get this much of my low intensity, moderate intensity, high intensity cardio, I got to get this much movement work, I got to get this much strength work, I want to incorporate this much power into it, I have to have this much time for rest and downtime. I just have a simple checklist and make sure as I go through the week, am I checking all those boxes? And so your hobbies can be part of that. You don't have to go sit on a recumbent bike to go get your cardio in. If you like tennis, that could check the box. If you like hiking, dancing, whatever it may be, that counts. And so that's where hobbies can come in and feed into it and get people out of this mindset that it has to be in this 60-minute box, which we've done a terrible job in the fitness business of selling people that fitness has to be in. And then it also doesn't have to be in a gym that with blinking lights on a dashboard showing how many calories you burn. So hobbies can feed into that checklist of fitness things you need to get to make you healthier, stronger, live longer.
Brother, I love that because I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with and they're like, well, what about my cardio? I don't have time for my cardio. Go for a fucking walk. You don't have to go to the gym to get cardio. Well, I don't have time at work. Well, can you go outside? You know, you work in a big building. Can you walk up and down? Move. Yes. You don't have to go to a gym to move.
Yeah, and they have things where you can measure your steps. So if you're not going to get cardio in, then just give me 10 to 15,000 steps a day and figure it out. That means you might have to park a little further. You might have to take the stairs instead of the escalator. And you'll find out that your habits and decisions are going to lead into better health by just being more aware.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lifestyle. You know, you make that habit of parking in the back of the parking lot. You make the habit of not taking the goddamn elevator. And so much of what you need gets covered just in the way that you live your life.
Yeah, I laugh at the people at the gym who take the elevator to go upstairs to get on the stairs.
Oh my God. Oh man. That's one of my biggest pet
press
peeves.
the button.
Yeah, this is my I can't stand that. And then you know, everyone has a show or Netflix or something. Maybe John Anderson doesn't, but most of us have a show or something we watch. You can do that and walk, you know, instead of just sitting on the couch and eating Cheetos.
You know, when I'm traveling, it's a treat when I'm traveling because I'm in some sort of a hotel. And all I do when I get up, I get up, put my shit on and just walk down the hall to the stairwell and just start fucking walking up and down, you know, and when you walk, you know, 6 to 10 flights without taking a break, it doesn't take many of those, you know, and you've got your shit in.
Keith, I've been doing this,
everybody can make every excuse in the world, as we know.
Yep.
There's no rocket science. Just got to keep those feet moving. I think the biggest revelation for me, though, that we just learned here in the last 5 minutes with Eric Dugati, is I think I need to take my sunglasses off for this revelation. But guys, did you not hear what he just said? The guy's playing in an over 35 baseball league. Dugati, I thought you were like 24. Like, look at you. You got good lighting? Are you just doing some good, like, are you doing the cold tub in the morning? Like, what's going on, man? Like, you're just like, you're not over 35, brother. Come on.
I'm like the oldest guy on my team, except for our one pitcher, by like 10 years. And I'm not going to settle for the guy who's got like 8, like the knee sleeves and the, you know, 8 things of Bengay rubbing down at the dick. Like
you can smell it. You can smell it when he gets out of the car type guy.
And you need a pinch runner and you hit a ball to the fence and it's a single. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm legging out triples. I'm stealing bases. I'm diving. I'm all in. I get to be a kid for 3 hours every Sunday.
I love it.
And you know, it's that old saying, if you use it, you don't lose it. And that's what he's talking about. He just keeps kicking ass, playing his game, and he still got it.
Yeah.
I noticed this too. When I stopped playing college basketball, it's hard to just go into regular life and just like, oh yeah, I'm done being an athlete, you know. So I kind of just kept that edge with me. I'm sure it's the same for you, Dugati and John Anderson and Tina. I don't know about Keith.
I still
Keith
play
ain't no
softball with
sports.
my sisters.
Yeah, Keith ain't play sports, so yeah, he don't have that itch. But
No, I'm making up my own sport, Marty. I'm a business athlete, man. That's what I am. I just do my own shit over here.
Okay, all right.
I got to tell you guys something, though. I got to to know Dugati a number of months ago, and what I love about Eric is he's the same, just like yourself, Marty. When I met you and then I watched you, observed it, you know, all your stuff on social and observed all your live shows. Like Dugati, you were just a disciplined, repetitive, I'll use the word boring human, but that's why you're successful. And that's, again, the magic. People think, I want the magic pill. Be boring. And I'm not calling you being boring, like boring, but boring equals success, Eric Dugati.
Boring leads to better. Yeah.
Yes.
And nobody wants to be the exciting patient at the doctor's office. Like, oh, never saw that before. Like I'm going to the dentist today. I'm the most boring patient she has. She's literally in and out in 5 minutes. She's like, you got nice teeth. See,
I love that now.
I love that, actually.
Like no one wants to be the exciting, cool patient.
No, you don't want to be the one that you're like, can you come here? I've never seen this before. Actually, can you check this out? We got 3 doctors in the room. Like,
well, dude, I mean, it's pretty live when you take care of your teeth. I'm 50. I'm going to be 53 soon. I don't have a single goddamn filling.
Yeah, I'm the same age, John, and so. You know, that's the thing is I had to change doctors because my one doctor, half of my checkup was him asking me if his workout was good. And it's like, what about me? He's like, oh, you're fine. You're good.
And then you got the bill. You're like, wait a minute. This is not how it works, right?
I had a dentist and every time I went and he was always trying to sell me x-rays. I'm like, dude, I haven't had a fucking problem with my mouth in 50 years. Why do I need this x-ray? You know, of course, he's got some reason why. Maybe I did need the x-ray, but I hit on my shit. My mouth is good.
I've been the same way with dentists, Johnny. I'm not a fan of dentists because they just try to sell me shit. I'm like, there's nothing here to sell. Like my mouth is good. My mouth is great. You're not going to make any money on my mouth. So
clean my shit, and make sure I don't have any problem. If I got a problem, then let's talk. If I don't have a problem, clean my shit and get me out of here.
That's it. All right, our time's coming to an end with our good friend Eric Dugati joining us from Jersey here today, a friend of the lab. Eric, man, I'm sincerely grateful that you took some time out of your day today, you know, to hang out with us this morning. You fit us into your busy day. Where can folks find you? How can folks connect with you? And what do you got planned over the next couple of weeks before we say goodbye, my friend?
All right. So easiest place to find me, just go to my name, EricDagati.com. And then I got some cool stuff on there for you. There's a Ask Eric. If you want to ask any questions, just shoot any training questions there. That goes to me. I also, the biggest thing I'm working on now is something called Eternal Athletics. It's a virtual coaching program for active and competitive guys over 40. And then for it to kind of launch that, I have a thing right now where you can get a free program review. Like the biggest thing I have is guys who are in our age bracket who are like, I'm trying to work out and I keep jacking myself up. I don't know what to do. What I used to do doesn't work anymore. So basically send me your program and we'll break it down and hop on a strategy call and figure out, okay, what are you missing? Like, what do you need to figure out here? And it's usually not their fault. They're doing their earnest based on what they've been told, but they've just been told all the wrong things.
Yeah. Awesome. Eric, dude, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out with us here today. I invite you to, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I invite you to tune in Monday to Friday. We're here every single day. We're trying to do this. We're delivering this Howard Stern meets Men's Health, meets Men's Journal, meets crazy circusness with the resident vulva on the panel. And that's just what we do every single morning.
Love it. Great meeting the crew.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice to meet you too, brother.
Come back and hang out with us again, okay?
Anytime. Love it.
All right, take care, Eric. Have a good one, buddy. All right, Eric's going to get out of here. And I just got some tunes we're going to throw in here because we got the man joining us, boys and girls. We got AJ Zeglin coming up. Jimmy, where's AJ? Where's that dude? Oh, no, we got Marty. I'm sorry. No, I'm a little bit. Get AJ off there. We got Johnny. That's right. We got this one right here. I got that.
Johnny wasn't going to say anything.
I know.
I was about ready to say, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I was looking at the wrong.
You knew?
I got a little message here on my screen. I got distracted by. I was just doing 8 things at once. Johnny, get the fit tip up here, brother. The lifestyle tip.
Come on, baby. All right, check this out. people need to learn to forgive themselves. And here's why. We all make mistakes. We all fuck up. We're not perfect. The world's not perfect. And when we make mistakes and we beat ourselves up, in many cases, it makes it very difficult to continue moving forward. And moving forward is what this shit is all about. So when you make a mistake, don't let that little voice in your head beat you up to the point where you don't want to continue, because that voice is always going to be there. And if you want to get what you want, you've got to continue. All you got to do is show up. You will beat 80% of people just by showing up. So that being said, learn to forgive yourself. Let that shit roll off your shoulder and keep moving forward. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, rock and roll. Johnny Anderson, there he is. Yeah, just figuring my shit out here this morning. Morning, guys. Good morning, AJ Zeglin.
Morning.
How are you, bro?
What's up, baby?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're well. We just go from trainer to trainer to trainer this morning. We had Eric Dugati here. AJ, the guy's got a Super Bowl ring.
Oh yeah, with who?
Yeah, with the Giants. Hey, was it Flynn the Giants?
Yep.
Yeah. He's a Giants Super Bowl winner. I see Marty Fit coming back here. So AJ, I didn't set you up today on purpose because I wanted to keep today light. Because today we're talking, as we're kind of going into the holiday season, we're talking
What's up, AJ?
Habits that might make people live longer. And we know that habits, I think you would agree with me here, habits are a big part of mental performance, mental health, mental distractions.
Yeah.
And hobbies, the other H word.
Okay.
So let's talk about how hobbies create good habits, which perhaps create clarity around mental health. So let's lean into hobbies today, AJ. And I know, and one of the things I wanted to have some fun with here this morning was I know you like your whiskey, right? And we're not here to promote alcoholism, but
Right.
I was looking at a list, and we got a list we're going to go through here today, like 50 habits that men might want to, undertake or participate in or explore as they're going through life. And one of them, AJ, is whiskey.
Oh yeah, it made the list.
It made the list, yeah, of adding, about so it's like there's wine, there's coffees, and some are like, no, I really enjoy being a whiskey connoisseur. But first of all, before we get into whiskey, talk about the idea of how a hobby is a wonderful place to go to when you're struggling with some mental situations going on in your head.
Yeah, well, I think for a lot of people, it just becomes an avenue to explore and express their passions and interests, right?
Yes.
Not all of us are fortunate enough to get to do it every day in our jobs, right? There's lots of jobs that have to be done out there that make the world go round. And those are just jobs that people do because they need money, they need to put food on the table, and they need to do the job, right? Whereas obviously our hobbies always give us that outlet to explore things we're interested in and that we're passionate about. And so I think they're just this great medium for us to learn more about the world, learn more about ourselves, develop as people, explore interests, right? So yeah, I have tons of hobbies. Obviously outside of the gym and outside of mental health, but I think in a way they all benefit my mental health greatly by giving me those avenues to express myself and explore myself,
AJ, here's another H word for you. Has the side hustle replaced the hobby in 2024, which is now everybody looking to make money? It's money. We all want to make money. I love making money. It's like, let's go make money. So it's like, no, I'm not doing a fucking hobby, because a hobby generally suggests that it's being done for fun. You're not making money at it. So I'm like, well, if you're going to spend an hour wasting your time on your hobby, why don't you monetize it, Flynn? Right? It's like, why wouldn't you? So AJ, has hobby been replaced by side hustle, do you think?
Probably for some people,
yeah.
I would imagine.
It depends if you're good enough at it.
Yeah. Good point. I think everyone's different. I mean, for myself personally, it's probably, having this approach has probably brought me a lot of peace and wellness in my mental health. It probably has hurt me sometimes, business wise. I've never made any decision in my life based on business at all. And me a long time, and I run two businesses.
Yes.
And I think the part where I struggle a lot of the time is my go-to, is always just like not what is best for business, but what is best for the people that I'm responsible for serving, you know. And sometimes that maybe goes against the monetary bottom line, right? So I think some people probably just gravitate towards certain things. I've never had that desire to try to monetize a hobby or something that I'm interested in. I just do it because I love it, but I also do what I do for work because I love it. And the business part is always secondary for me, right?
Well, brother, the flip side of that is when you're truly focused on serving who you're serving, the business part kind of falls into place. I mean, you can't be a complete utter idiot with those decisions, but when you focus on serving them, everything else falls into place. People get too focused on, okay, well, I need to make a good business decision. Well, if your business decision uproots your purpose, then you're really fucked yourself.
I'm bringing next board meeting with upper management. I'm bringing John in there with me.
Yeah.
That's your.
I don't have anything. Listen to him.
But I mean, that's your job, is to stay focused on serving. It's their job to somehow hybrid serving with being profitable. Yeah, no, correct. Yeah, for sure.
AJ, is it as simple? There's a young man. There's a man in our audience coming to see AJ right now. He's struggling with something going on in his world, in his life, and he's looking for some clarity. He's looking for purpose. He's looking for a reason to get out of bed. He's looking for a reason to get moving.
Yeah.
Could it be as simple as sitting down with you? And I'm going to oversimplify it. Is it as simple as saying, "Hey, Keith, just go and find a hobby, man, because that's going to give you a purpose"? Like, is that as simple as saying, "Get up, fuck, Keith, just go for a walk, get your fitness in, just go and." Because if it is that simple, AJ, why don't more do it? I guess that's, and maybe the answer is that's why you're employed and why you have a business, because people don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, if we really want to try to simplify it, I would say get moving, right? Get up and get moving, and go do something for somebody else, right?
Yeah, you said it a number of times. It's a go-to for it, because there's magic in that, isn't there?
Well, I think generally as people, we want to, specifically males, this is, I know this show is mainly targeted at the male population. It's important to feel that you have a purpose, and it's important to feel that you're useful and that you contribute in some sort of meaningful way. And sometimes it's easy to forget the effect that you can have on other people and the influence that you could have on your community and the world around you. And if you get up off your butt and get on your feet and you go do something for someone else, it's just a great reminder about the amount of power that you do have to have a positive effect on the world around you, right? And then there's your purpose. There's you feeling useful, right? Now you're bringing value to the world around you. And that's really important for people in general, but even more specifically, that's really a powerful driving factor for most males.
What do you love most about your whiskey hobby? And don't give me the obvious answer. Is there a and let's have some fun with it. Is it when you're shopping for the whiskeys, you're looking at the labels, or you're looking at the brew date? I don't know what the right term is, but what's fun about that hobby for you? Is it that first sip? Is it sitting with the buddies? Is it the social side of it? Like, I know you love it. Like, what is it, AJ?
Yeah, it's the social side for me.
Yeah.
I've never, for as much as I like whiskey, I've never poured myself a whiskey by myself and just sat down by myself and had a whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done it. I've never done it. It's always shared with friends. It's always shared with people that I love being around, right? It's always accompanied by food and pork chops. And these potatoes, they're cut in a very interesting way. They're kind of like cut lengthwise, kind of a little French.
Here we go again. Here we go again, man.
These gourmet potatoes.
Thanks.
Yeah, these French potatoes, the way they cut them.
Yes. No, but it's always coming by food, and probably my biggest passion in life, even outside of the gym and outside of helping people in the field of mental health, is cooking. Like, there's nothing that brings me more happiness in life than being in the kitchen and cooking for people. So when I have buddies coming over and we're having whiskeys together, man, there is a full menu put out on display on that kitchen island, like front to back of that kitchen island, there's like 20 different appetizers and stuff going out that I've spent time cooking, and being able to share that with people that enjoy being around. That's really what it's all about.
I've been
your whiskey is like my cigar, brother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say there are times when I'll sit down and smoke a cigar by myself, but for the most part, it's more of a, I don't know, it's a celebratory thing. I'm doing it because I'm enjoying something, you know.
Right.
Hence, I smoke every morning on the show, which Terry is not really pleased about because my smoking habit has gone up. It's every day guaranteed, because the weekend I'm going to smoke no matter what, you know, because that's a day where, you know, usually I'll have some sort of a social activity. All of a sudden now I'm an everydayer because of the show. So Keith, you might be in deep shit.
Blame it on Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, blame it on Keith.
Yeah.
There's one thing I love about AJ is I love the contrast, AJ, because you're such a regimented fitness, lifestyle, healthy human, and you promote mental wellness, emotional wellness, physical strength wellness.
Yeah.
You have such an incredibly healthy relationship, and I want to emphasize that, an incredibly healthy relationship with whiskey, which many would frown upon. And I love the contrast to that, Flynn, because as I've known AJ, like, he's so disciplined, but yet the first guy, you go to his house, and I'll just support that. You go to his house, you know, and I'm not one to imbibe anymore, but the food, like the spread, like, it's clearly a social thing, and I love that, man. So I love the contrast, because what it shows everybody is that you can have both, Marty. You can do both. Like, you can live that lifestyle. Exactly right, Marty. You can be human and then sit back and enjoy a nice whiskey with your buddies.
Well,
right.
and I would argue most people that have a relationship that they're not really proud of with food, they don't talk about food the way that AJ talks about food, and the way that his face lights up when he talks about it. They don't enjoy it in that way. That is not the connection that they have to it. So that's the key difference here, folks. If you're looking for something that you can actually partake in as a hobby, think about what brings you that level of joy. What, when just talking about it, can actually light you up inside, whether that's something you had to bury because you used to do it as a kid and people told you not to, whatever it is. For me, if I talk about ball, Marty, maybe you have this too. If I hold a basketball very, very often. I just hold it. I just carry it around with me because it makes me fucking happy. And yeah, it makes me weird. I don't care.
I hold something else that makes me happy, and I try to hold it as much as I possibly can.
The question is, does it take two hands?
It does take two hands, Johnny. Absolutely.
Two fingers.
Oh, wow.
And we're not talking the French fries either.
My Lord.
Hey, we are here at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get your ass out of bed. We're going to do the brand bite here in a quick second. Mr. Zeglin, always love having you around, brother. What's going on today? What do you got on the big agenda today for AJ Zeglin?
Oh man, it's gonna sound a lot like the other days whenever you ask me that question. I'm back in the gym right away. This afternoon I'm at my clinic working with some people, and then this evening I'm watching my son play hockey.
Beautiful, Jimmy.
That sounds like a great fucking day to me, brother.
I agree,
man.
Yeah.
It's funny, guys, because I was having dinner. As we know, AJ and I were having dinner last week, crushing some pork chop and those beautiful gourmet potatoes. And he was like, Keith, but I feel like I'm saying the same thing all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's the point of our show. Because we show up every single day. And that's why people don't do what we do, because they're looking for people like myself and Johnny and Marty and Flynn going, oh, there's the outlet where I can. And Eric Dugati, what did Eric say? Boredom is what? What did he say? Boredom is yeah, and he's like, I don't want to be the most exciting guy in the doctor's office. I'm like, oh yeah,
that's a great point.
That's a great point.
You gotta be boring, man, because at the end of the day, you got to be able to do the shit that nobody else wants to do.
No one else will do.
That's exactly it. AJ Zeglin, I love you, brother. Listen, Jimmy, let's create some content for AJ today, because you and I were talking about on the weekend, AJ. Where can folks connect with you? We're going to cut this up for you so you can put it on the freeze. Where can folks connect with you and get a hold of AJ Zeglin? Let's do some promoting of Invictus right now, Mr. Zeglin.
Oh yeah, they can go to my my socials, which I don't do a great job of. So I only have one on Instagram. It's Invictus PFP is the Instagram handle. There's also a website there that is not great. It's a one pager. It's just a landing site that's just going to give you my phone number. So the best way from there is you reach out, you call me, you text me, and we have a conversation, and that's really how I like to connect with people.
Old school, baby. Old school.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to cut this up for AJ to put it out there, and you can connect with AJ. But Mr. Zeglin is here every single Tuesday and Thursday. Mind Fuel with myself, Flynn, Marty, and John Anderson. AJ, get after, brother. And stay warm. It's fucking cold here today in Winnipeg.
Brutal. Yeah,
exactly. All right, guys.
All right, AJ.
Everyone's got to go for a little break here. Marty, you got to rock and roll, brother?
I got to rock and roll. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, man.
All right, Marty.
You, Marty.
Still up, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Good loop, brother.
AJ. Marty. John is going for a break. Flynn's going to rip off a brand bike because we love to hear what she has to say. I always love these things. Flynn, get after him. And we're going to get some hobbies when we get back after this. Let's get it, Flynn.
Get off my stage. Get off my fucking stage. All right, listen. You are never done. Let's talk about the lie that we've all bought into. This idea that one day we're going to be done. Done building your brand, done working on mindset, done putting in the work in the gym. You're never done. You're never done working out. And you don't stop at the gym when you hit some goal. You keep going in order to stay strong. If you're building your brand, it's not about posting for 3 months, which people really struggle with. And I get it. It's hard to look at it that way, but you're not just posting for 3 months and you're good. It's showing up again and again and again and again. If you're thinking about getting your mind right, that's not a one and done. It's a lifelong practice of learning, fucking unlearning, and evolving. So here's the truth. The second that you think you're done, you're fucked. You are, because the magic isn't in the finish line. It's in the work. It's in the process. And trust me, I've hated hearing that for a very long time. But the mindset that shifted it all for me was stop thinking in days or weeks or months, think in decades. That's where you need to focus. So let's fucking let go of the idea of being dead and instead focus on being present, being consistent, and embracing the journey. Yes, it really is that simple. I have entered my no fucks era, and I promise you, if you take today's brand bite into account, you will be one step closer to entering yours. You got this.
All right, there we go. Flynn with the brand bites. She's going to keep dropping them here. Yeah, she's going to keep dropping them here. We're going to figure it out with Flynner. Yes. How's the kids, Flynn?
Disasters. Total disasters. They are just... I remember seeing something online, and it was like, I don't know what her name, I think it was like Molly Sims or something. And she was like, I deeply love my kids and I deeply hate them. It's very complicated. And it's like, sometimes you just feel that way. You're like, fuck, I cannot right now with these children. But then they go to bed and you're like, oh, look at this picture of them. Oh, look at this. It's like, it's a very complicated relationship. Last night, Bray had her Christmas concert. So we go to the school, we decide to bring Banks because he's, 2.5 now. We're only there for like 15, 20 minutes max. We get in, we get out. But he is a real piece of shit lately. And he's like, nah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. And it's like, you do all the patient parenting things. You do all the gentle. Listen, hun, mommy can take you or you can take yourself. Which one do you want? And he's just like, no, I don't give a fuck. So I did carry him home. Thankfully, we're a walk, kicking and screaming. And you know how kids are when they don't want to be. I had to carry him home, kicking and screaming, and was like, I was just on a next level dysregulated for the rest of the night. It was brutal. And that's like pretty well every day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. What's going on, Business Athlete Nation? It is second hour, Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends. We're going to get into Reloaded. We're going to reload the show here. We're going to work towards the bottom of the hour here. Myself, producer Flynn, John Anderson here hanging out. We're talking hobbies. Let's reflect on the last hour here, guys. We kicked off with Eric Dugati. Great dude, eh?
Very good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
great nuggets.
He does. Yeah, I know. I had him in live in the lab there. I was telling you months ago there, Christina. And when we reached out to have him on the show here today, it's funny because you just kind of know what to expect from certain humans. And I knew coming in he was going to drop gold because he's so regimented, he's disciplined, and you can see why he's successful, right? Because there's just certain people strike you a certain way, right? And Eric certainly struck me that way with a guy that just gets after it every single day. And the guy's he's 53.
Unreal. What I love too is like he is like that with his work, but also he's like, coaching kids baseball.
Yes.
He's playing baseball himself. Like, if you play baseball, I know the guy on my team who is Eric. Like,
Yes.
that dude that shows up. I play softball in the summers with my sisters. We show up and we're like, okay, we're here to have a good time. I get a little bit intense. I get like a bit competitive, but there's the dude that shows up and he's doing his workout. He's doing his warm up. He's like back and forth before the game even starts. And then he's just laser focused. And you're like, dude, this is rough. This is rough.
So true. And it's nice when you see guys like that who are coaching and teaching our next generation, because all he's doing is he's teaching his habits, Johnny, to the next gen. And I'm not out there dissing the other hockey dad. I'm not out there dissing hockey dads or basketball dads, because I got nothing but respect for the people that volunteer their time. But when you hear guys like Eric, or even yourself, Johnny, or Flynn or Marty, who have these, I'll say, neurotic habits, that's good, because you're teaching that kid those neurotic habits that move them forward too, right? And that's,
well, I mean, let's define neurotic. Neurotic according to the lazy fucker that lays on the couch.
I mean this in a good way, because I'm neurotic as fuck. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we have to be careful, because a lot of times when we, the average man thinks that certain habits are neurotic, but that average man is also, as our last guest said, is also the fucking guy that's an exciting patient for the doctor.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love that hook was a really good one too. So,
yeah.
All right, let's spend the next number of minutes here, guys, talking about hobbies that might make us live longer. Jimmy, Walter, let's bring up our visual here, and I did a little bit of work with Perplexity, Flynn.
Real quick, let's before we start this conversation, let's define hobby.
Yeah, let's do that, Johnny. So let's
because that could really this conversation could go many different directions based upon that definition.
Dude, I love that, Johnny. I love that. So you started off, pal. How do you define a hobby?
Fuck, I don't. Oh, Jesus Christ! I mean,
I'll start.
I was the guy that chose to fucking live my life around my hobbies and learn to monetize them. So I don't know that I'm the guy to ask to define the hobby.
Flynn, you start. What's a hobby mean to you, Flynn?
For me, a hobby, there has to be a distinction between monetary and not in hobby. Because for me, the way my brain works, if I don't make that distinction, my hobbies are going to turn into a business venture. So I create that distinction. A hobby for me is something that lights me up. So it tends to be for me something that I used to do as a kid a lot. I used to spend a lot of my time doing, and over the years was told, no, that's not something that's going to be a career for you. That is a hobby. So spend your time doing other things. And I think a lot of us experience this. They're almost like beaten out of us in a way, like they're socialized out of us to do things for ourselves or to just have fun. So I started painting again. I started drawing again. Like I said, I've got a basketball that I carry around all the time. And if I had a driveway, I'd be in it every day. Like, so to me, they're things that bring me joy, not in just saying the words, but genuinely an entire body feeling of like, this is something I can do. And it's easy to get in flow, and it just makes me happy. But there's no monetary incentive to it, because my brain will shift to a very different spot if there is.
That's good. That's a really good way to put it, bringing stuff back from when you're a kid, because, for the most part of the last, 3 decades of my life has been me doing my hobbies, but also making business out of them. But now as I get into a little later phase in life, I'm bringing stuff back, like riding dirt bikes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to turn that into a monetary thing, but that's something that I didn't do for a long time, largely because it was a hobby that brought risk to what I was doing, which I wasn't going to let happen. So that's a great way to look at it. When you bring something back into your life from when you were a kid, that's kind of an interesting perspective on hobby, because when you're a kid, you do shit you like to do that's not really, you're not influenced by anything other than this is exciting.
And there's no goals attached to it. There's no outcomes attached to it. There's nothing larger. It's like, I'm doing this right now in this moment because I fucking love it. Period.
Yeah,
and it's not weird. A kid, like I was that loser kid sitting in the corner doing a puzzle for 3 hours. Like I was the kid in the corner, like just sketching and trying to get like my lines perfect, but there was no outcome associated with these things. They just made me happy.
I can say I still attach goals to my hobbies. Like when I'm riding my bike, I have ideas of what I want to do for that session.
Johnny's just competing with everything he fucking does.
Well, it's because because that
Mindset.
thing for me is what kind of lights my fire. If I don't have some sort of an association with what I want to achieve, it's just, to me, it's like a checking another box, but I'm just checking a box with a hobby versus, something that I'm doing for another part of my life.
I think that the idea of a hobby, that's why this conversation, that's why I think it's a great conversation topic, Flynn, because it's there's not a right or wrong. It's purely opinion. It's good conversational fare. I think hobbies have died in the last 20 years, guys, because of the internet. Because the barrier to entry to make, quote unquote, make money is largely just showing up from a computer and behind a computer and doing something, right? And I think that the idea of a hobby, Flynn, I've talked about words that are dated. I don't know if like is what's Bray and Banks' generation Gen AI. Is that what they are?
No, I think they're Alpha. I think is their something like that.
Is Gen Alpha, is Gen Z? Are they growing up with hobbies? I don't think they are. I think they're going to hustle because like, hey, I'm going to go put an extra hour into monetizing my podcast or an extra hour into making something. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I think that the idea of a hobby has maybe dropped off. Is life expectancy work considered a hobby?
Did everybody else freeze or just me? No. Okay, Christina, you're still there.
No, you froze, Keith. We didn't get that.
I said as producer Jimmy asked the question here is, could we consider life expectancy work a hobby?
I mean, I suppose if you both see it as a hobby, otherwise one might see it as a chore.
Again, if that's what's going on, then something is not being.
Yeah, that ain't the hobby you want. Then you got to find another hobby.
That's it. All right, producer Jimmy, let's pull up some of our topics here that a little bit of homework and perplexity and said, hey, give me some topics that 50 best hobbies that men might use to elevate their life, change their life. And I love what Flynn and Johnny were talking, which is maybe revisiting something you did in the past. So Jimmy, let's keep noodling around. Let's go to that first one. The first one on the screen that we talked that's going to be put up here is keep going though, Jimmy. Is a golf. I know, Johnny, you're a golfer. You're a big golfer, and golf is.
Hold on. I'm not a big golfer. I'm a terrible golfer. I just enjoy golfing in the right settings. Yes.
So, but for you though, I'm going to make some assumptions here. Golf for you it's social, it's movement, it's fun, and that's probably those are the three reasons you do it. I'm thinking, right?
And it's hard.
My goal for playing golf is in 18 holes just to get that one shot that'll bring me back the next time.
That's what golf is for. That's to me what gets everyone addicted to golf, because you can have an amazing one hole can be so amazing. Like the entire thing is just flawless. And your next hole can be the fucking worst hole you've ever played in your entire life.
I don't need a hole. I just need a shot. It's that shot.
You don't even care. You're like, I just want the driver. I'm going to the blacks. I'm just going to crank it.
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, I don't even really hit deep. It's a choppy little shot, and it just keep it in play is all I'm trying to do.
That's fair.
It's like you get that one shot, and it's like you don't feel it in your hands. It just somehow just kind of goes, and that's the one. And if I have more than one,
you can't repeat it.
But all I need is the one to bring me back the next time.
It's true.
The next one here coming up for men to consider adding hobbies into your life. And we talked about this early on in the show where it might have been the revelation to why I have these addiction problems. But Jimmy, let's throw it up here, brother. It's fishing. Yeah, a timeless tradition of fishing. And Flynn, Johnny, are you guys fisher humans or are you guys fit? Do you enjoy fishing? I love fishing. You guys like fishing?
I used to fish a ton when I was a kid. We lived on the river. So I would fish often. Now I have a different version of fishing. I go back to the lake here, and no, it's a different kind of little because I enjoy the water. I enjoy the fish. So I walk out to where I'm about mid-thigh, and I literally will take some. There's a cupboard where Terry has all this shit that we use when guests come, or chips and Triscuits and shit like that. There's a cupboard, so I just grab a handful of Triscuits.
Yeah,
and I crumple them up and I drop them in the water, and all the fish will come in and eat right around my legs. They're swimming between my legs and all sorts of shit. So that's kind of my variation.
Do you grab them like a bear? Do you like put your face in there and try to get one?
I don't want them. I just want to watch them. It's like,
Yeah,
it's very
cool.
tranquil. You know, it's like just watching the fish eat, watching them move around, and the little ones will actually come and like try to like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They'll actually like suck on your leg or nibble on your leg. It's crazy. Like they're still learning. Dude, there's a Triscuit right next to there. What are you sucking on my leg for?
No, fish like Triscuits.
I was thinking the same thing, Flynn. That with those fish, Johnny's just like a bear. He just scoop it up.
I just wanted that story to finish with, and then I just stick my hand in there and I pull one out, and then we eat that for dinner.
That's exactly right.
You know, I think if I was going to do something manly like that, I'd be trying to do it with something a little bit more aggressive than a fish.
That's hard shit, though. That's still aggressive. That's hard as shit to pull a fish out of the water like that.
Oh, I agree with you. I guess it's just, I do it from the standpoint it's tranquil. You know, I mean, I don't want to, I go out there. I mean, when I get back to the beach, I even start moving slow, because any fast movements, these guys will feel it. And so I move slow. I walk into the water slow. Literally, if I do it enough, like in the summer, I literally, as soon as my feet start to move into the water, I can be in an inch of water. They start coming in because they know they're getting fed.
It's Johnny's aura, Flynn. He just has an aura around him, right? It's like when he walks around anywhere, people just kind of flock to him.
If a fish is stuck in your leg, you're on the right track.
Yes, yeah. Hey, is there something to be said for, you know, the first two habits we just talked about here is fishing and golf. They you know, and I know we're talking about men's topics and we're a men's show. Those two are still very gender men based, aren't they, Flynn? At the end of the day, but it's a 90 some odd % probably of men. What I'm trying to say to you is that they're very gender heavy, leaning towards men, aren't they, Flynn?
I think a lot. Like, there's obviously a ton of women that enjoy golf. I think that the one big accessibility issue for women and golf particularly is the amount of time it takes. So a lot of times, like if you're running a business, our business meetings are not happening on a golf course. Yes. And I'd prefer they don't anyways, because I want to look in a power position when I'm in a business meeting, not like an idiot. So that's fine for me. But it's really the amount of time that it takes. You're looking at, I don't know, y'all tell me, like what, like 5 hours probably from like when you leave your house to when you get home. I don't know a lot of women that with all of the responsibilities they have at home can also take that amount of time out of their day.
Yeah, and you got a heart for that one. I'm suspecting there's some truth in that. That's a very good point, and that's one of the reasons I've struggled with golf. I used to golf, but I don't golf anymore because it's just too much time out of my day, and I want to be good at something, so then I gotta put a bunch of time into trying to be good at it, so it just doesn't work.
Well, you know, since the age of social media, like when I go out there now, if there's going to be a videographer with me, period, end of story. I'm not going out.
Yeah,
I'll kill two birds with one stone, and it's that makes it that much easier for me to take that 5 hour chunk a day.
Make it,
you know, because I'm still making progress. I definitely, when it comes to, when I can attach something like that to making progress, it makes it a no brainer.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Adam coming in here, just not bored anymore. Fishing is good. Yes, you're right, Adam. Fishing is a good one. What's this? Oh, we would go eeling. Oh yeah, look at that. Adam would go eeling with your hands and a hammer to knock him out. Yeah, there you go.
Is that a thing? Do people eel? Is that a thing?
Maybe. I mean, maybe Adam can get some feedback on that. All right, next one, Jimmy, on the list of hobbies that you might want to reconnect with to maybe help you live a little bit longer. Jimmy, there, if you look in the arrows there on the right-hand side of that gamma there, Jimmy, click that arrow there and you're going to see a visual pop open there. Exactly. Good job there, Jimmy. Camping. Reconnecting with nature, right? Johnny, you go up to Utah. I know you're a big. I know you're not a camper.
Stop with the Utah thing, brother. Jesus Christ!
Not Utah, Tahoe. What is that?
So, two places I always confuse. I'm going to tell you guys right now: Ohio and Iowa, and Utah and
Tahoe.
Tahoe, always. So just give me grace. Just give me grace, okay? Johnny, I know you're my brother from another mother. Just give me grace forever. I will always confuse those places.
Listen, I'll have fun slapping you in the chin every time. Don't worry.
Yes, exactly. So camping, reconnecting with nature. Who wants to take this one on? I think it's a great hobby to lean into to help you maybe because you can go get to mental health. You can get outside. You get some fresh air. You can get movement. There's actually nothing bad about getting back into camping. Except for
you have to shit in the woods.
I would
bougie.
say
I'm not trying to camp ever.
When I was a kid, I did some camping, but as I got into as an adult, I didn't do it so much anymore.
Yeah, there you go. All right, next
being cold and like not no.
Rich, you would like the next one, running. So you might want to think about running, nation, to get yourself, get moving again. Maybe that's a hobby you can, find which is enjoyable is this idea of running, right? Boosting your fitness, clearing your mind. We talked about it yesterday. You don't got to go and fuck a marathon on day one, Flynn. You can do like a fart, like you can walk and you can run. I liked what Richie taught us yesterday, Johnny, right? Which was, hey, do the light pole thing. I never thought about that, right? Which is walk from light pole to light pole and then run from the next light pole to light pole and then maybe walk for the next two and then run for the next two. Oh, that was great. That's a great way to introduce yourself to running, especially if you're looking to adapt a hobby. And we know that Good Time, who showed up on the show every single day, and Jack Dugan has lost 50 pounds just by getting up and moving. The next one is guitar. Johnny, Flynn, I could see Johnny picking up a fucking axe and just sitting back there and just strumming away.
I want to see Johnny's ukulele.
Yeah.
What I actually did when my kids were young. We were big on having them, they were singing, they were doing all different shit. So guitar was one of their interests. So what we did is we actually had I guess you'd say a guitar lesson teacher come to the house. And basically the three of us, is because the older daughter was gone, the two younger ones, the three of us would take a guitar lesson together.
Oh yeah. I like that. I took singing lessons before, guys.
I believe that.
Yeah, I did. I was convinced I was going to be a singer, and so I took some singing lessons, and I learned Donka Shane.
Is that it? You were going to be you were going to be a crooner.
Yeah,
you weren't going to be just a singer. You were going to be a crooner.
I was going to like the Canadian Michael Bublé, but actually, wait a minute, he is Canadian. Yes, Adam. Yes. Oh, so Adam does this, Flynn. We smoke them in New Zealand River. Eel is a staple. Ugly bastards, but they taste good. And Adam. So Donka Shane. Whoa, Donka Shane. And I learned some. What was the other guy? Frank Sinatra. Yeah, I did some Frank Sinatra too.
How old were you when you were doing all this? How old were you?
I was 21, Johnny. I was 21.
No shit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a childhood thing. This was a young adult thing.
Oh yeah, I was kind of in between school figuring shit out. I was like, no, I want to be a fucking singer. So I went and hired a singer, and I went and spent some time with this guy teaching me how to sing, and it was a fun. Yeah, just get behind the camera. That's exactly it, Adam. So there you go. All right, so we got a few minutes left in this segment here before we say goodbye to Johnny. I brought this one up because we talked about it earlier on the show here, cooking. I think it's a great hobby, right? And it's one you can do with your partner. It's one you can do yourself. You can do with friends. It's social. There's mental awareness. There is. You got Lauren coming up here with. Lauren's like, how I have never heard the story. Yes, baby, I've told you my story of singing before. But yes, cooking's a wonderful thing. Flynn, are you a big cook, or who does the cooking in your house? Erin, do you guys make it a social thing?
Erin is a big foodie. She loves to cook. It's very much her world. I get overwhelmed by cooking very easily. And I know, shocking. I feel like I have a hard time getting my head around. You could work really hard on something and like stay focused and spend time and like just fuck it all up with one thing and not even get to eat it. So I tend to forget something. Like I'll forget an ingredient or I'll forget a step and then I'm just frustrated. So no, I don't cook.
And you're wondering why it doesn't taste good because you missed half the ingredients.
Yeah. And then I have to watch my wife be like, it's really good. Great job, babe. Choke it down. And I'm like, this is fucking, stop placating me. Like,
Jerry is such an amazing cook that, there's just no way for me, no way for me to slide into those shoes. It's like her cooking is so. Before she came along, I had a handful of people I thought were great cooks. As soon as she started cooking for me, I was like, these people suck.
Oh, dude, I love Lauren. You guys know how much I love my pet, my little pet named My Pet. I love my Lauren. Best palate ever. Like, I love her palate. And what I mean by that is that she can take these, Johnny, you probably the same thing with Terry. She takes these flavors. She knows how to take these flavors and put them like into a bowl and then spark my palate. I'm like, oh my God, how did you think of that? And she always says it's some recipe somewhere else, but I don't care whose recipe it is. It's just knowing how to mix flavors, Flynn, and bring them to life. Right. And you're like,
do that.
Yeah. And Terry never uses a recipe ever. Same. She just literally goes off of how
Laura's the same. Yeah. I love it. So Laura,
Anna will just open up the fridge and be like, what do we got? All right. And just throw something together and it tastes amazing. And I'm like, this is not the outcome when I do this.
Right. So there we go, guys. It's just something to think about is, learning to explore new hobbies. Cooking might be one that you might want to consider to help you, be mindful and live a longer life by embracing some cooking. So, all right, we're coming to the bottom of the hour. Johnny's got to rock and roll. Keith and Flynn are going to continue with Community Corner. We are going to continue trying something new here. We're going to drop these 50 habits that I created yesterday out of my conversation with Perplexity. We're going to drop it into maybe the newsletter, Melissa, and we'll get it out this weekend.
Did you use Perplexity because GPT was down?
Right. Yeah, the whole world's like, hey, where's my helper?
Doing the work.
And Flynn, no irony. The same day that it launched with Apple.
No irony at all. And Meta's down. Oh, all of it.
I know. All right, Johnny. Quickly before you go, brother. How was our show today? Good show today.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're always good, man.
Yeah.
That's the part. Try to pick out a high spot. It's not always easy.
And I love the fact that we got your internet back, because when over me and Jimmy can talk in the side rooms going fucking right, Johnny's back, man. There's no disconnecting, and we're all good here, brother. So, hey, listen, before you go, what do you got on the agenda today, pal? What do you got going on?
Oh, man, I got a great one. First off, today's is an off day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually I can tell my body a good decision I made yesterday. So my body needs it. And I got a lot of, every day is just another day that I get to invest myself into the shit that I like to do. So it's going to be a good day.
Nice.
We'll
see you tomorrow for the loop, okay?
You got it. Have a good loop, everyone.
All right, Johnny's out of here. Me and Flynn are going to keep the show rolling here. Jimmy, we're going to go to the Community Corner, and we're going to do the Creator Spotlight, and then I'm going to sing us out of here. Yeah, true story, Flynn. I found the song that I was learning on as I was a young man.
Do you want to scat together?
Oh,
Scooby-Doo, bop, bop, bop,
yeah. Remember when we were introduced to scatting when Gwen Stefani and No Doubt was...
This is another thing that we need to make sure doesn't go away is scatting.
Yes.
Scatting is a talent.
So, not to be confused with the other terminology of scatting. Which is shitting on somebody.
No, that's shatting, isn't it?
Scat. Like scat. Yeah, scat. Yeah. So scat. Yes, exactly. Little domain. Scat. Yeah. So scatting is also a term where people have a fetish.
Like golden showers.
Yeah. So there's golden shower fetish, but there's also scatting. But scatting is shitting on somebody. So it's you might be enjoyed of having somebody shit on you, and it's actually literally like. I
just need to know how what was the gateway to that fetish? You don't just start a fetish with being shit on. That's not where you start your journey. So I need to know the steps that the people that enjoy being shit on take to get to that stage.
Can we find a guest for the show? Actually,
is it the goal? Is golden shower the gateway? Is it if you like being pissed on, you'll probably like being shit on. So let's give scatting a try.
So Little Doughboy. Isn't there a guy that sings a song, I'm a Scat Man? Yeah, I think there is. But listen, so Flynn, I think that I'm actually kind of curious here. There's probably a strong hook for LinkedIn about seeing if somebody would want to join the show to talk about their experience.
Sexual fetishes are cool. Do you? If whatever.
Hey,
you like being shit on? No, I don't think we're gonna find that person on LinkedIn though. I gotta say.
Speaking of fetishes, so I think you were on the show last week. We talked about that young lady who's going to sleep with 1,000 men.
Yes.
So she was in the news this week. Did you see?
No, you think I have a fucking RSS on her? No.
No, you're too busy being a mom. Oh, you're too busy golfing?
Oh,
You're too
good
busy
news. Good news, babe. We got an update.
She's only slept with 101 men. Yeah. So listen, Flynn, she slept with 101 men this last week and she documented it on her journey to go sleep with 1,000 men. And revealed, Flynn, she revealed it was difficult.
No.
And she revealed that it was somewhat mechanical. And
what do you mean? Of course.
And she revealed Little Doughboy. Can she be a repeat guest? You guys are in the pocket. Little Doughboy. I'm telling you, Flynn's not a guest. No, Flynn actually.
I've been here. You're new, Doughboy, not me. I love you though. I love that you're here.
I'm just saying there, Adam. The true story. So she banged 100 guys, and she did a documentary on the banging 100 guys. And then at the end of it, she's an OnlyFans creator. At the end of it, she's all gearing up for the 1,000 guys. So so she's giving guys 46 seconds to get the job done, and more than just soaking. Hey,
obviously it was mechanical. If she knows how many seconds, 46. She's not even like rounding to a 5. 46 seconds each guy has. Like, yes, it's going to be mechanical. Yes, it's going to be hard. It is not going to be enjoyable.
And Lauren's like, why is Keith the only one that knows about this chick? You know why, baby? Because I'm looking for great morning show content and nuggets like that just fall out of the sky. You're like, yes, I got something to talk about. There's some broad banging.
The alerts on that man's phone. I tell you.
I'm telling you, we got to get her on the show.
Listen, I think it's like people do really interesting things, and sex work is real work. So do you, girl?
Yes.
Yeah. 1,000 men.
Adam joining us with 46 seconds. That's a bit long, ain't it? Well, Johnny's not around. Adam, the average.
Long.
What?
For 1,000 men.
Yes.
46 seconds. Like, I feel like
I had to do the math to fit in 24 hours. So that's why.
Why 46? Give them each 20.
Yes.
Get it in, get it out.
Yeah. Hey, so Johnny's saying if they're talking smack, you're on the right track. We haven't had a chance to catch up on this, but somebody knocked on my door last week about my conversation about soaking.
Okay. And I told my wife about that. And I was like, you got to hear this shit.
Yeah. So I had somebody contact me from the church.
From the Mormon church.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the Church of Latter-day Saints. Okay.
To say I'm a member and what the hell are you talking about?
Well, and how old is his member? If they're a little bit older, maybe they don't know about the soaking.
Exactly. So for the record, the member's my age, and he's an awesome dude, man. We had a great conversation. He come knocked on my door after the segment. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, just some morning show fodder." He's like, "Oh, so he's like, I didn't know about this." So, but my point is that we just had a wonderful dialogue about it, right? So we
marked on all the young Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints kids out there that are trying to soak to get around the rules of not being able to have sex.
Well, and in defense of my buddy there, he's like, Keith, there could be other churches too, and he's right, because it's really escaping morality, right? So my kid's gone to a Catholic church. I'm sure there's a bunch of crazy shit that really, right? So it's not
Catholic kids. We just have sex. We're going to have. So we're like.
Right. So
we just accept it. Good for the Mormons though, for being like, I'm technically not doing it wrong.
Let's talk about it. And we had a conversation about it, Flynn. It wasn't a he pissed on me, I pissed on him. It wasn't a back and forth. It was a, what's this? What are you guys talking about? What's that all about? And I was like, let's have some fun. And he's like, how did you learn about it? I go, I went to Perplexity and said, give me some fun stuff happening in the world. And it said, yeah, TikTok is talking about soaking. And then I learned about it on my favorite show, Flynn, The Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, as you do. Makes sense.
Right?
Makes sense.
Well, it's got to come from somewhere, right? It's just I got to find.
They talked about soaking on Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, I know Salt Lake City has a big Mormon population, but like, why were they talking about soaking?
Good question. I wasn't paying attention to that part. We got Adam coming in with elders and sisters so good at cold calling they almost end up in sales. Yes, that's exactly right. So we got from scatting to soaking and crazy fetishes. So anybody has a crazy fetish, anybody has a crazy fetish, I'd love to have you on the show, because and then we'll make sure Flynn's here, because we have the question. The one hey Flynn, you know how we have like the morning show question? We could actually have a new question, which is like, what's your fetish and how did you arrive at it?
What's the gateway fetish. I need to know the gateway.
Yeah,
Give me the journey. I don't want to just know the end result of enjoying being shit on. I want to know your whole journey.
Yeah, was it like the satellite dish? Was it the fishing rod? Like, what was the experience that unlocked this desire to have somebody?
You know what? I like fecal matter being put on me from another human being.
Exactly.
That's what they were like, you know what? Being pissed on, it's a little bit wet. Fecal matter, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Even golden shower experience is fascinating to me. I understand that one a little bit more, the power dynamic in it, but I don't know. It's
it's definitely a power dynamic in the scatting too. I if these are consensual endeavors, both the peer and the recipient of the urine are enjoying it.
That's right. Okay, Flynn, Jimmy, let's do this. Let's move towards our creator spotlight. I'm pulling up the old LinkedIn there, Jimmy, just in a second here while we keep chatting. And let me see here. This is when I do the do part here. Going on after the show today. What's on the agenda today for you, kid?
I've got a couple meetings that I got to do, and then it's Banks's Christmas day in the day. So we're gonna go pick up Bray, and we're gonna go see the little man saying, "You better watch ya, you better." I'm pretty excited. He's passionate about the lyrics. Like I'm telling you why. I don't know where he got that from, but it's pretty fun. I'll try to take a video and send it to you.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got Brookie's Christmas party tomorrow night, or I'm sorry, Christmas concert tomorrow night, which is what
are they singing? Do you know?
I don't know. No, but I'm sure.
I'm surprised. Last year at Bray's Christmas concert, they sang "I Am a Pizza." Have you ever heard that song before?
No.
First of all, it's not Christmassy at all, which I loved. And then they sang it in both English and French. I am a pizza, or Je suis su pizza. And it's the best thing I ever seen in my life. I was really hoping for another one this year, but we didn't get it.
I will say that I'm glad you said you guys are going to a Christmas concert, and we're going to a Christmas concert. My kids go to a Catholic school. I'll make a little bit of a controversial comment here. I'm tired of people canceling Christmas. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. You're allowed to be tired if people can't. I say Christmas because that's what we celebrate.
Yes.
If I celebrated something else, and if I'm talking about something about what other people are doing, sure, I'll say holidays because I don't want to assume anything. But for me, we celebrate Christmas. So that's what we're doing. We're going to a Christmas concert. Yeah.
I heard a story yesterday where we were out for dinner last night, and we have our Winnipeg Blue Bombers here in the city, and there was a class that was encouraged during the Grey Cup. They were going to. I guess what was the situation? Was it a workplace? Was it a school? There was a situation where they were going to encourage everybody to wear blue, but because somebody didn't have a dad or something, it was like, no, we can't do that because somebody's going to feel left out. I don't know. I'm not doing a good job.
I bet you this is probably a good story, but your rendition of it is really shitty. So I'm not even going to comment on it.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, we're just going to go to the Creator Spotlight Community Corner, Jimmy. We're going to do that right now. We have somebody who's a multimedia specialist, Flynn, a live events guru. This is the best part. He's a sandwich hero. Not a hero sandwich, a sandwich hero. Yeah. He's the creator of the award-winning Fat Daryl sandwich.
Okay.
As seen on TV. Yeah. Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, New Brunswick, from the Atlanta metropolitan area. Today, we are going to spend some time celebrating a gentleman named Jimmy. Let's rock and roll, brother. Named Daryl Butler. There you are, Daryl Butler. Yes. This is the part of the show, Daryl Butler, where we surprise you. You got to tune into the LinkedIn feed like, hey, what the hell's going on? Well, myself, I'm Keith Bilous. I'm the host of the show called Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Right over there is Christina Flynn. And we take the big mornings in the show light, and we shine it on humans on the platform to celebrate them. Today, we decided to celebrate you. Why? Because you're doing great shit. You are a multimedia specialist, a live events guru, a sandwich hero, and a creator of the Fat Daryl sandwich. I love that. Flynn, as I was looking at Daryl's content here, I'm going to pull up here on the screen here. You look at some of the posts he's got. I really enjoyed this one here yesterday, right? Which was shell shock the system. Your purpose, your path, your pace, right? Not anybody else's purpose, not anybody else's path, not anybody else's path. And you kind of talked about it even in your brand bite today. It's your game. And too often we're getting up for somebody else's reason. And we talked today about hobbies, Flynn, right? And AJ talked about it often, right? Sometimes we just got to go to work. We got to get a job done. It's not my purpose. I'm got to go to my job. So I'm finding something to do for my hobby, right? It's about yourself. Well, Daryl's all about you, right? Shell shock it. Your purpose, your path, your pace. It's your game, Flynn. You make the rules. Let them hate from the sidelines. And he drops it off with LFG. Let him go. So Daryl
if
Butler.
they're talking smack, you're on the right track.
That's exactly it. And
I love that
Daryl,
little image. It's very cute.
yeah. So I love the content Daryl's putting out here. Daryl, I love the content you're putting out. I love the message you're putting out there. I love the fact that you're celebrating Christmas in your feed. You know what's coming up, and he's all about the fat Daryl sandwich. So
I need to know more about this sandwich. Daryl, please join us just so I can learn about this sandwich.
Actually, I'm thinking we got to get Daryl on the show when you're on the show, and we get Daryl to make the sandwich or bring the sandwich on the show. We can talk about the sandwich on the show with Daryl. I'm getting hungry.
I'm into it.
All right, Adam. I know you got to go, brother. Okay. I see you out there, Adam. You have yourself. I'm doing the creator spotlight, Adam. I'm sorry I got interrupted. Adam, have a great day, brother. We'll talk to you later. So Daryl Butler. We would love to have you here in the lab. We like to celebrate folks. And I'm sure there's somebody in your orbit that you're like, hey, I want to celebrate this human being. Come to the Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Tell us who you want to celebrate, and let's do the exact same thing that we're doing for you, for somebody in your orbit, so we can celebrate somebody on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Daryl Butler. That's who we're celebrating here today. Christina Flynn.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. All right, Adam's got, what's this? Adam's got, break time is over. Thanks for the random conversations. Keep cool till after school. See you later, alligators. Working on my embarrassing dad jargon. Adam Ode, exit stage left. Yes, Adam, I love that. And I love when we got these regular folks showing up here on the channel.
More things we can add to the list of we don't want to lose. See you later, alligator.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose it.
So we're on to something here with this, because I was even thinking, Flynn, about I want to maybe set up like a dictionary of Mornings in the Lab terminology.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because we're creating like this terminology in the show.
Yeah.
Right. So, and
what does the loop mean?
Yeah.
What
What's
does,
life work mean? Right. We got life expectancy work.
Life expectancy work. Yes. What does that mean?
Right. And part of that could be words that we're trying to keep alive. So we could actually have like 2 chapters.
Phrases. Yes. I'm game.
Just 2 pages of our book. 1 page of words we use, the appendix, and 1 page of words that we never want to see die.
Yep. Pull your socks up. Another one.
Pull your socks up. Yeah. Why don't people do that anymore?
They don't have to. That was the whole thing. That's where pull your socks comes from. There wasn't elastic in socks previously. That's why they had those little clippy things. So they would just fall down. I'm almost certain I'm serious. I could be fucking with you, but I'm almost certain I'm serious that's where it comes from. Socks didn't used to just stay up on your legs. They'd fall down.
Dude, I just fucking.
This is also the part I love, like the etymology of these words and these phrases of like where I need to know about Bob's your uncle.
Yes.
Where does it come from? And how did it become like this colloquial term that we all get behind? This is what we're trying to save here.
I'll tell you what we're trying to save here. How about something like this? And now the end is near. And so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway. And much more than this, I did it my way.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't say the name of your singing teacher because they'll never get work again.
Jimmy, that was for you. We all know my friends in the Philippines like karaoke.
I love that you just don't give any fucks. You're like, I don't care. So many people would like love to do what you just did there. And they'd be like, but like, I might look like an idiot. And you're like, I'll look like an idiot. That's cool.
So this is what fascinates me. Let's just keep this going for conversation for a quick second, because I'm going to be serious with what I say next. Like, I know you're right with what you said, because people are like, but why would you do that? Or how could you do that? When yet to myself, it's like, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, it's like, whatever.
I don't think it's a why. I think it's a how. I think it's a, people understand why, but they are so deeply insecure or not confident that they're like, I can't imagine doing
Just
that.
singing on
Like
them.
singing on camera, showing up like this, having conversations online, all of it. It seems it's like you take a fear of being in public, like public speaking when you're a kid, right?
Yes.
And if you just never face those fears, of course you look at us and you're like, how the fuck do you do that? Whereas for us, it's just, but I wasn't always like this either. You get comfortable with it. Well, and then you find yourself doing shit that you're like, I would have never thought I would be doing
and
that.
having me sing ourselves out of here. So, and Jimmy, of course, going, we Filipino love the karaoke. I know they do. All my Filipino friends love karaoke. You go to karaoke?
I hate karaoke.
Oh, yeah?
I hate it because I love to sing and I am afraid to sing in front of people. And when I hear other people do karaoke, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like embarrassment for them. And I don't know why, but it's like a feeling I don't like having. So I hate karaoke.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that's got me a lot of attention was the stupid LinkedIn profile and picture. People still knock on my door going, dude, I love your, I had a guy yesterday saying, I love the fact that you're just giving these middle fingers up to everybody out there who's selling like the perfect LinkedIn stuff.
Yeah.
And I found it kind of humorous because I didn't look at it that way, but it's like, dude, you're giving like the ultimate fucking big finger to everybody out there who's like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this.
I was talking to Rich Ingram about this yesterday. We met yesterday and we're talking about his brand, and he's like, everything he said, I was like, you just need to say that on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Of being like, you're not thrilled and excited for John. You fucking hate John. Stop saying that you're thrilled and excited for him and his promotion. Or you're really like, are you that honored to be going to an event where you win an award that you paid for? The fuck is that? Like, why? I'm like, say these things, because people on LinkedIn especially are just craving something real. And everyone is thinking these things. So when someone actually comes out and says it, and I think Rich and yourself, and I try to do the same thing, so say it. If you're thinking it, just say it. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't like, I swear, cool. You don't have to do what's in your zone of comfort. But if you have thoughts like this and you are not putting your career at risk, because I understand that too, say it. People are dying for that.
I'm going to tell you something though. So you just made a statement there that I actually, I'm hoping that we can maybe change perception on, and I'm going to say I vehemently disagree with. I'll take my glasses off for this. I don't like when people are like, oh, it's going to affect my career. It's a career limiting move. No, aren't you just being human? Like, actually, I want to.
It is. I wish it wasn't the reality.
I don't agree with that because then you don't work. You don't want to work at that place.
Like, some people need a job.
But there's another place that will appreciate you as your human. There's another place.
I know that, but you are coming from a very privileged perspective when you're looking at this conversation. Because
I don't agree with
you have always been able to find work. Not everyone's able to find work. I
think that it leads back to even just my behavior on the platform, or my behavior with my profile, which is everybody just takes themselves too seriously. If we can just maybe slow it down for like a little bit of a second, maybe we're all a little happier. Maybe we're all a little aware. Maybe we're all less rigid. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with all that. I'm all about structure, but listen, we're all about structure. Structure equals success. But maybe if the boss doesn't have his tight ass, his fucking underwear up his ass going, oh yeah, you shouldn't be on LinkedIn talking about yourself. You should be talking about the company. Come on, man. We're all fucking human. We're all trying to make
I agree with you.
We're all trying to feed our kids. We're all trying to do our thing. You know, and as Johnny always says, you know, we both can be right with this. And that's the problem, is that the world's like, well, no, but that's the right way. The way that Flynn's doing it, like it's all perfect, is the right way. Well, no, there's actually many ways that's right. What's really right is is it the right human being that fits your environment?
Yes. And I think for me, it's a matter of, I wish that wasn't the reality. I think that population of executives will eventually go away, and there will be a continuum that shifts to, and they'll overdo it. We know this, right? Right now, nobody's allowed to fucking have a personal brand. And if you're building a personal brand, you're taking away from my company, and then they're going to fucking swing the other way. And then everyone's going to have a personal brand, and everyone's going to get fucking burnt out because now it's another job that they have to do for less money. Like all this shit. We know how this is going to go. The middle ground that we're trying to find here is being able to be more authentic online, be more yourself, and bosses and executives realizing, while not enforcing, but realizing that that is of benefit to them. Because if you are associated with their brand and the work that you do as a company, if they're out there and putting themselves out there and people are connecting with them, you as a brand are the byproduct of that connection, and you get to benefit.
And I think we see that as generational leaders change, right? And to me, as we wrap this point up, Christina, it comes down to this for me. What's your results? Because that's ultimately all that matters. If you get exceptional results because you have the world's most ridiculous LinkedIn profile or Threads profile or Instagram profile, or you dress like the most ridiculous human being, but every human loves you because they love doing business with you because you're so authentic and they want to just open their wallets up to you. That to me is what ultimately matters, is the results. And too often,
as long as that wacky ass person is you,
yes,
you're not putting it on.
Right. But too often we're judging a book by its cover and thinking that cover is what the reality is, when often it's not. So again, I guess maybe the point is, let's invite ourselves to open up the book, look inside of it, and wait to make judgment just based on what somebody sees up front.
Yep.
Right.
Nope,
So
I'm with you.
All right, Flynn, great conversation, kid. Loved having you back. It was just like putting on an old pair of elastic socks that you have to hold up. Is that what it is, Flynn? Is that what it is?
No, it's no elastic. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to hold them up. There's no elastic in them, so they would fall down.
Jimmy, that's why we got Flynn here, to keep me close with the anecdotes.
Yeah, these are the list of copious amounts of dumb shit that nobody needs to know that I know. Yeah. Welcome to my brain, and welcome to my wife's reality.
That's it. Jimmy, I know we're still live backstage. I did it on purpose. I wanted to keep it going here today. I just thought it was kind of fun. So we're going to get out of here.
Did you do that? I was actually thinking about that through the show. I was like, you should just fucking keep that on during the entire show and people will be able to see it.
Oh, yes. We got live backstage over there. We got the horizontal stream over there. We got the vertical stream over there. We got my lovely bride upstairs.
People think this is a game. They don't know.
That's it. And we got producer Christina Flynn over there. We got Jimmy over there. We got Tommy over there. Flynn, loved having you on the show, man. Good to see you today.
Here. Yeah, appreciate it.
You go kick some ass today, and we'll catch up a little later today. And I know we're looking to try to get on the calendar tomorrow, all right?
Yep, that's right.
Awesome. Jimmy, let's get after it, man. Post-production starts. Nation will see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here, the last day of the loop. We'll see you guys. Ciao. Let's get out of here.